All right. Well, here we go.
Chomp, chomp, chomp.
I know. Hi, Rachel.
Hi, Marc.
Welcome to our first episode after our conference we had at the beginning of May. That was super awesome and super epic. And I know we'll get into some awesome guests today, but to kind of, I thought you were putting on aviators too, but apparently not. But just as a reminder to the folks who couldn't make it this year or just any of our newer listeners, our conference theme this year was Believe It. We had a very heavy Ted Lasso theme in it. Tonight's sponsor happens to be one of our diamond sponsors, which we are so grateful for. So grateful for the support that they give us and the really fun activities and cool spaces that they set up. And it just so happens to be the diamond sponsor I got paired up with. And go, if you don't mind, would you bring
I
her
sure
out?
will.
And there she is. And I just, before we let her talk, because I'm going to keep talking, it's been a minute. The greatest thing about this whole thing was I was like, oh, Christine, our first call. I was like, I think everyone's going to do like soccer and Ted Lasso. And you immediately were like, yeah, I don't think we're going to do that. And I was like, perfect. What are you thinking of doing? I'll let you give us a quick hitter there, Christine. And then tell us about your company and your support of ACPE.
Sure. Well, thank you. I'm so excited to be on. And honestly, I'm still in a bit of a glow from ACPE. So I guess, yeah, history of how we got to a space cow theme. Y'all probably heard that we're from Wisconsin. And I have actually kind of a couple of ways to where we got to the cow. Kind of the short version is, Wisconsin is the dairy state. If we were a country, we would be the fourth largest exporter of cheese. Hence the cheese head, which for all of you that are not watching, I actually am using it to prop up my microphone here. So cow, we've embraced the cow in many ways. We came to the space cow theme in part inspired by, I love sci-fi, and I have not seen the newest season of Paradise, so no spoilers there. But it was you, Marc, that introduced me to that show. I love sci-fi, super sci-fi fan, and it just felt like it made sense to bring a bit of the mysterious Pacific Northwest beauty into our typical cow theme. We bring Bessie with us all over the country. This is definitely the first time that she's ever tried to be abducted. So that's kind of where we got the space cow thing. And also, if anybody missed it.
Can I interrupt
Yeah.
real quick? Christine, what company are you with?
Oh, right. Yeah. Powergistics. That's right. Hi, guys.
Oh, okay.
I'm Christine from Powergistics. And that leads me to the charging cart, colloquially, or at least regionally around here, the computers on wheels, the carts on wheels. That's like the cow. And oftentimes cows are big and bulky. So that also connects with it as well. Some parts of the country get it immediately. Some parts of the country, which I was a little surprised that there weren't as many folks that got that immediately in your guys' area. They just thought we were being silly.
We called ours cows a long time ago. I think it's maybe just because we kind of we started moving into the one-to-one, and maybe we started calling them less cows. Not less cows, but cows less. Sorry. But anyway, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. Continue.
No, that's fine. I guess I could kind of so Powergistics, like our story, I like to tell stories, and I think our story is a really, really awesome one. So we are a metal manufacturer, first and foremost, and it started all the way back in 1870. It was the great-grandfather of our current owner who emigrated here from Wales, and he had an apprenticeship in blacksmithing, but he actually had to walk 34 miles to borrow a hammer so he could forge his own hammer to start his very first business. And that was blacksmithing in Columbus, Wisconsin, just about like a mile away from where we currently are. And back then, this is not a joke, but their main business line was the iron cores of wagon wheels. They teamed up with a carpenter, and basically at some point they're, kind of making the full carriage, I believe. So total cool background in metal making. And our current owner, fifth generation, I mean, he has an industrial design degree. He's got a background in human-centered design, like how to really create products that are really user-friendly for people and kids. And we had a neighboring local IT director who knew our owner. And in 2012, he was like, I don't like these carts. I've got this idea. I want to make this idea happen. And so he came and they collaborated, and at the end of the day, the first Powergistics tower came out of that. and it evolved a lot. I think there actually are quite a few districts in Oregon and Washington that like might have been a little bit early adopters back when we could only wall mount. And since then, we've upgraded, and now we have retro kits where you can get wheels on most all towers. And I'm really excited that we now have a tower hinge kit. So if you still want it to wall mount, but you're sick of taking it on and off the wall to get to those cables, now we have a kit that will work with any tower we've ever made that can like allow the tower to swing open and access all the cables. Which, by the way, can I just say, Plugged In as the podcast, I love that because I talk about cables.
Power logistics.
Yes.
Plugged In.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So Christine, if I understand correctly, what you just said on the retrofitting is, so like a lot of people have these hanging on the walls, bolted into the walls, hopefully. And now they don't have to buy a new unit. They can put a wheelbase on the wall mount.
That's right. Yeah. So any towers after like midway through 2016, anyone's manufactured after that can take a roller kit as well. So you can convert some of the older stuff into newer carts. So, and we can also do like power supply retro upgrades as well. So everything about kind of how we've done things is from the mind of an IT director. He always says the KISS, like the keep it simple, stupid, like try to do everything easy.
Can you show us your demo cart?
Oh, are you talking about this guy? Oh my gosh. Yes. Here's my demo cart.
That's real size, ladies and gentlemen.
It is so tiny, right? We have the tiniest footprint possible. Absolutely the slimmest footprint. I'm sure you can tell. And this thing actually does
beautiful.
So for all those that are not watching this, I'm holding a Lego version of our tower. This is the Core 12 or Core 24 cubed, and it's got the lovely door that can be locked, but you can still see if the devices are inside, and all of the fun colors, which do act as a classroom management helper for the teacher. And the colors are just fun and bring joy. That's actually a real quote from someone in Texas.
Yeah.
Putty. The old ones were putty, putty color.
I love that example. That is like, you should just take that on like work visits with you and show everyone that this is your cart. And I mean, okay, so serious question here, Christine. When will you have all the pieces cataloged that are needed to make that?
As soon as I actually do it.
You actually did this yourself, which is
I did.
Amazing. It's amazing. And so with that being said, I think that ACPE should buy a whole set of your cart Legos. Rachel
I like that idea.
Just took a deep breath. She was like, oh man, what is Marc doing?
No. I like it. That was like a contented sigh.
I think that'd be awesome.
I think so too.
We keep like straying, but I do want to share when I first met Christine and how this all came to be. We were at a different conference in California, I think, and we were meeting and we were chatting about your company. And one of the things you said, it was a metalworking company and that you make custom propane truck parts and carts for laptops. Maybe it was your boss had business cards for both, like the propane trucks and the carts, which was so weird. And I loved it.
Okay. Christine, Marc is clearly not Midwestern, because when I hear that, I'm like, makes total sense.
I mean, I get it.
Total sense.
But it was just funny to me. It just took me like totally by surprise. But we did talk about ACPE quite a bit. And I was like, you got to come to this conference. And we got you in last year with another vendor, I think. And then she snapped up a diamond spot and it was just so good. And we love all of our sponsors, in particular our diamond sponsors who make the conference really what it is.
I agree. And I always think that Christine has been with us since like forever. And the past 2 years, Christine's like, this is my first year. I think we knew each other in a prior life.
Yeah.
Christine,
very cute.
We are so grateful for you and Powergistics as an ACPE sponsor and partner and friend at these conferences. So glad that you had fun planning. And we hope that we'll see you next year and can't wait to see what Christine's creative brain cooks up.
I don't know how I can top
It's gonna
this
be
one.
fun.
It was pretty good.
You know,
Well, it will be Marc's
I'm going to give
year.
you some ammunition, so it'll be good.
Yes.
All
Okay,
right.
Christine, have a wonderful evening. We know it's already late where you are and appreciate you being with us on this episode of Plugged In. Just before we brought Christine on, I was putting my glasses on, which now there's going to be a reflection the whole time. I'm glad that most people just listen. But it's when we start recording that I notice like, oh, I didn't pull my hair to like not alfalfa underneath the headphones and was like having to squint at the screen. I just have readers on, but for some reason at night on these recordings, it's easier with the blue light blocking glasses.
Well, you could have got a visor. Did you get a visor?
I think I did get a visor, but I
Did you?
honestly haven't unpacked my bag yet.
Well,
It's been a busy
okay.
couple weeks.
I gotcha.
So, yes.
Well, it was a super fun conference. Sorry, I'm just chomping away on some licorice in your
okay.
ear, but that is
I'm
kind of
surprised that you
indicative
still
of
had some Twizzlers left.
I know. I had a giant tub, and that was the hit of the treehouse that I had was all of the licorice. It was really quite delightful. Okay, so before we get into our guests tonight, Rachel, is there anything we need to talk about?
So I think for our plugged in segment this evening, we keep it short because I want to bring our guests on.
Okay.
And I have like funny things for you in the next episode, and I didn't have a chance to finish them before tonight.
Okay.
But 2 round ball things.
Gotcha.
One is that I think the power of the ACPE community is pretty strong because Cristo Fernandez, Football is Life from the Ted Lasso series,
Yeah.
was actually signed on El Paso.
Yeah, he's in Texas. I saw that he's on a
yes.
Texas team.
Yes. So, and I just thought that we were positive energy in the universe, all concentrated around Stevenson, Washington, and sending
the
it
soccer
towards
gods.
sending it towards El Paso. And then second is it's the Spurs versus the Thunder.
Okay.
It's so good. It's so good. And the current update as we sit here this
You mean
evening,
the old Seattle Sonics? Okay.
Yeah, I know that was kind of heartbreaking.
Uh-huh.
It is 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and the Spurs are up 89-84.
Okay.
And
Wow.
Wemby's just a treat.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I've been watching Running Point on Netflix.
Running Point.
Actually just finished the 2 seasons. It is a basketball comedy with Goldie Hawn's daughter. What's her name?
Kate Hudson?
Yes.
No. Is it Kate Hudson?
Yeah. Good job. And it's about her as sort of a Paris Hilton type daughter in a family that owns a basketball team in LA. It's supposed to be like the Lakers kind of.
Okay.
And she ends up taking over as president of the team for her brother, who goes to rehab, and she crushes it. And it's really a sweet story. There's like fun stuff in there.
All right.
So yeah,
I will watch for that one. I'll watch for that one. Okay.
Well, do we want to bring our folks out?
So I'm going to bring out the first guest.
Okay.
And that's our fellow board member, Josh Kesecker, who, if I'm counting right, was this Josh? And we'll bring Josh out to ask him this. I think this was Josh's first conference as a board member.
I believe so.
That's right, Rachel. This was my first conference on the board.
Welcome, Josh. And you survived. Good job, you.
Thank you.
Long days, full hearts.
Late nights.
But it's rewarding too.
It is. And then, Marc, I'm going to have you introduce our surprise guest just to hear you say his name. So bringing out from backstage.
From Siuslaw? Is that where he's from? It's Coleslaw? Something like that, right? I think it's Christopher Roastbottom.
Nailed it.
How'd you like that timing? I was waiting with my finger ready.
No. Hello,
Nailed
Chris. Yeah, thank you. Hello, Chris. You have been a constant source of amusement on this podcast.
People have been waiting 20 episodes.
I know.
For this
just
moment.
to show you, I can say Chris Rowbotham. Wait, did I screw that up? Did I screw that one up again? Oh, sorry.
You almost got it.
I mean, we're trying. Chris Rowbotham, thank you for joining us on the podcast today. I just want to share a real quick story. I was telling Nicole, my wife, right before I came on the screen, I said, we got a couple fun guests tonight. One is the guy that I butcher his name every episode because it's really funny. And I said, I have so many fun stories about you, Chris. I'm going to save them. But I go, he's the nicest guy. He's just the nicest guy. And he just smiles and he laughs. And I'm glad that you take it so well. So thank you for that.
And so
I
Josh
was a teacher. Remember,
Yes.
I was a teacher. I taught you. I mean,
Well, I know.
my students butchered my name left and right. So I'm used to it. It's all fun.
Well, we appreciate your good grace as you became our invisible guest for many podcast episodes in a row. And this is where, Josh, I actually think you and I are just going to sit here quietly for a few minutes because I actually want Chris and Marc to talk a little bit about the music connection and the people in their life and the power of middle school and high school band. Is that okay if we just turn it over and really talk
Absolutely.
about, like, in a meaningful way, the connection between the two of you that predates ACPE and this silly podcast.
I mean, I had never met Chris before ACPE, so that's the truth. But Chris, we were
Mhm.
having lunch, weren't we? Having lunch. I think it was the first year at Skamania,
Yes.
or was it at the mountain? I think it was at Skamania. And I think we introduced ourselves, and I said something about Siuslaw, and that I know that there's the big forest, and my family has a place in Pacific City, which is right on the edge of that forest. And then you said you were a teacher, and you said you were a band teacher.
hmm
And I said, well, that's interesting. My dad was a band director in Oregon for 40 something years and did lots of, he's the president of OMEA and all that stuff. And then I said, maybe you know him. His name is Dick Elliott. And you're like, I know him. Take it away, Chris.
Yeah, I did know your dad. He adjudicated my ensembles many times. And what I loved about your dad was he got straight to the point and told us what we needed to do to be better. And I always took those words to heart and really looked back at the things that were said. And we would talk about those things as the band and figure out, okay, next time we perform this, or if it's next year, these are the things that we need to strive to be better at.
He's 83 now. And I think my mom has begged him to stop clinicking and adjudicating, more for the fact that I don't think he can stay awake when he drives across the state because, he gets like that. But it was just such a fun thing. I called my dad immediately and was just like, you won't believe this. And he's like, I remember Chris. I remember working with his bands. And just, it was such a neat thing. And was just so happy to make that connection. I know that we're not getting too far into the music thing, Rachel, even though music is a big part of Plugged In. I want to share my favorite memory of Chris. And he already knows what it is.
Uh-huh.
Last
I
year,
do.
not this year's golf tournament, but last year, it's walking only, right? So it's a total mess. And I'm trying to get people out on the course. People are just wandering off. And we didn't have anybody starting on holes 5, 6, or 7 because they were the furthest out. And we had people on the putting green and on the other holes except for 5, 6, and 7. And I was in a cart and I flew off to go all the way around the course to make sure all of our sponsors had stuff at their booths. And I find Chris out at hole number 5, all by himself, just standing there with this bag of clubs.
The
And I was
vendors
like,
were there.
well,
It
yeah,
was
well,
me. Yeah.
your team was not there, Chris.
No,
And
they
and I stopped and I was like, hey, what are you doing? And you're like, I'm on hole 5. And I
Huh?
said, no, man, no one's on hole 5. Like, I think you're on putting green hole 5. And the look on your face was just like, I think you were smiling. And I was like,
Yes.
get in the cart, Chris. Just get in the cart. Stuck you in the cart. And we like flew back to the pro shop. And then I deposited you on the putting green.
Yep.
I was like, did you run out there? I don't know how you made it out there that fast. Like, it was amazing.
It was a lot of fun running or
Yes.
walking with those clubs. I didn't even have the clubs on a cart. I was just
Yep.
carrying them all the way over there.
I mean, I couldn't believe there was somebody out there. I was like, what happened? So good. But also near and dear to my heart, you wore Oregon gear all conference this year, which I loved. So good. So good.
I did.
So.
And then I realized what state we were in and how many people probably didn't appreciate all the different variations of the Oregon football jersey, but it's all good.
I
This
mean,
year-
I got my master's at UW and I'm still a Duck at heart. So
Was your bed short sheeted every night when you went to climb in bed, Chris? Had the housekeeping staff
yeah.
gotten their revenge?
I'd be willing to bet that half the people that work at that resort are from Oregon. They just come across the bridge.
Probably.
So
Yes.
anyway, sorry, that's my fun for tonight. I get to make fun of Chris and I did.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
there we go.
So, Chris, we really are so glad to. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how you made it from teacher, band director, maybe a little bit of crossover with tech at the beginning, and now you're a director. And I also think you might have a job change coming that is public enough to talk about on the podcast.
It absolutely is because I'm doing that job right now.
Oh.
So
Okay.
I will be more than happy to talk about it. So I started after University of Oregon when I got my teaching credential. I went to Vail, Oregon, not Vail, Colorado, Vail, Oregon.
Yep.
And I taught for 3 years, did K through 12, mostly 6 through 12, but I did have to drive up to a little town called Willow Creek, and I taught a little general music class to that school. So that was my first experience with education, and I couldn't have asked for a better place to start my career because the people in Eastern Oregon are so kind and so helpful that I was really just embraced as, even from being from the western side of the state, I was embraced right away, and they really helped me kind of get my foot in the door, learn a little bit about classroom management that they don't teach you in college. They try to teach you, but until you actually get into your own space and really handle your own classroom management, you don't really know what questions to ask, and you don't know what you don't know, is what one of my professors would always say.
So you were basically in Idaho.
Very close. Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I had to look it up on the map.
Chris,
Even being from Oregon, I was like, okay.
I moved here sight unseen 20 years ago now, and have spent time in Vail and Ontario and a lot of the Mountain districts in the past decade. Is Vail close to where the covered wagon is for the Oregon Trail? What?
Yes.
Yeah, as you're heading into the Malheurs. Okay, that's what I thought. It's nearby there. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So after Vail, I got the job with Siuslaw, and I was band director for 12 years with Siuslaw School District, teaching middle school, high school band. I had 7 ensembles, taught over 150 students a year, and we started really making some success in the last probably 3 to 4 years of my position. And then actually the last time, and this is really hard to say, the last time I conducted was actually at Oregon State in the Oregon State Band Festival. So we finished that festival and we qualified for the state championship with that performance. And it was probably one of my best ensembles, top to bottom. And we just really had a great set. Things were really happening. We got on the bus to go back to Florence, and I got the call from the superintendent, and he said, "You need to get back here." I was like, "Okay, well, we're on our way back." He's like, "Well, so you know, the country's basically shutting down." Okay. So, and then of course, distance learning and all that stuff happened. There's a lot of doomsday about what band programs would look like during the COVID, with all the COVID air particles and all the scientists saying that this is what you can't do, this is what you can do.
Chris, there's lots of spit floating in the band room.
I really want to show the pictures of the horn covers. Those were killing me.
They were
They were so bad.
Those killed me. Yeah, that was really bad. But basically in the summer of the pandemic, the superintendent called me up and said, "Hey, I might have to put you into an elementary classroom, or I would love for you to become our technologist to basically help us bridge instruction and technology." Because I was already kind of doing a little bit of technology, even at Siuslaw. I taught a Viking tech class where we were doing like Hacker High School and some different things, just kind of teaching pen testing and kind of stuff like that, just for fun. But yeah, when he offered me that instead of teaching in an elementary classroom, not music, I absolutely went for that because I don't know a lot about teaching elementary school, and that sounded a lot more fun to me. If I couldn't do band, I wanted to do something else that I enjoyed. So I became the technologist, and then 10 months later, our replacing director that was going to be replacing the retiring director just resigned suddenly. 10 days before we were putting in a district-wide IP phone system, and
it scares away the most hardy of tech directors.
I was given the keys to the switches, and I logged in, and nothing had been configured for the IP phone system, so I had 10 days to basically get everything worked up. But I will say Noctel, which is who we went with for our phone project, their team was awesome to work with, and their CEO, Cory Horton, was amazing to work with and really helped me get all that lined out. And we had a successful rollout, and that's how that started. And then a few months later, I was named the director of technology. And then 5 years later, Brandon over at Lane ESD had a job opening for this new position called the Technology Operations Manager for Lane ESD. And I applied, and now I am currently in that position while finishing up everything with Siuslaw and getting all the transitional work done, which is a lot. It's really hard.
I bet. Congratulations, Chris.
Thanks.
And I'm so glad we started with what journey you were on to get here to this podcast, to get to technology. And it seems like it was meant to be from the beginning. So happy to have you with us today.
Yep.
So happy to be here.
Yeah.
The
and
infamous
Josh,
podcast.
Yes. And for letting us take your name in vain.
Yes.
A number of times the past 18 months.
Loved it.
Josh, so you are, I think, one of our first callbacks. So Josh, will you introduce yourself for those listening who may not have heard one of my favorite episodes, which was Chasing the Gray Line with you and Dr. Joe Morlock about
Surfing the Gray Line.
Surfing the Gray Line. Thank you.
Made it sound way
Ham
cooler.
radio. I did like that title. I have a lot of fun making up the titles, and that's one of my favorites, even though I didn't remember it correctly.
So I'm Josh Kesecker. I'm the technology coordinator up at Wallowa County ESD, and we're very small and rural, so we're kind of like a district office providing all those kinds of services, but for all of our 4 little districts out here in the middle of nowhere. So almost as remote as Vail.
Almost. Actually, in some ways, more remote.
Depending how you look at it.
Still beautiful country though there as well. You have Wallowa Lake, Joseph, which is if you've lived in Oregon or Washington for a long time and you have not been to Joseph, Oregon, I highly recommend the very long drive to get there. It's stunning the entire way there, and just a really peaceful spot to spend a weekend or more.
She's always looking for excuses to get out here.
I am. We host ESD CIO meetings in Joseph whenever I have cast the winning vote. We'll have to do that again soon, actually. Yeah. So.
Well, all right.
All right.
Okay, so we get to recap the conference, right?
We do.
And we have a third board member with us tonight, and that's Josh.
Mm-hmm.
Josh's first conference as a board member, even though when you know you're going to become a board member, you are at a conference, but you're not officially a board member, but you kind of are a board member. So it feels a little weird. But yeah, this is your first official conference as a board member. If I mentioned it before, the theme was Believe It. Rachel and I have our Believe It gear on. Josh is wearing one of our new shirts with just the standard ACPE logo. Chris is not wearing anything.
There's no uniform required for these, Chris. And in fact, usually I'm racing to the computer from my workday in a button down. So You are welcome here.
But honestly, just a terrific conference. I think that we put... the conference is awesome every single year. This is my okay, if I count the year that it was canceled, I haven't missed one. Even the remote one I presented at online, it would have been, if we count the canceled one, 25 ACPEs for me.
In the canceled it year, we had
that the online year?
Yeah, we had
Chris Bailey and I.
asynchronous. Yeah,
we did a tech levy presentation. So yeah, I guess that is officially 25 ACPEs for me.
Wow.
Yeah. It's when we started Discord.
Yep.
That year, right? Yep.
So I mean, the organization has been through quite a bit of change. I remember what it looked like my first one, where it was just in the Mallards room in the Mallards building that Chris never actually got to experience because the roof was falling in that year. So we didn't actually get to go in there. It was just tables set up like a bingo hall, a karaoke DJ, and a bar. That was it. It amazing. It was super fun. And it just has gotten so much better. I will say, at least I don't know how you, Josh and Rachel, felt. We put a lot of effort into this year. It's like a lot of sweat into this year that we haven't in the past, I think. At least I was running around like crazy and being told that this is your responsibility. And I said, okay, I will try not to screw it up.
And Josh, you did an amazing job capturing footage of ACPE attendees that folks will see on the YouTube channel in the days and weeks ahead.
So I had never seen Ted Lasso before. I don't have Apple products and subscriptions and things. And so I didn't have the framing behind all of it. But the keynote was great, but also I just running around one night after dinner, grabbing random people as I could. I took some quick little videos, and it was very fulfilling to listen to people's experiences at the conference, their favorite bits, how it affected them. And there's some really good stuff there. I had a lot of fun doing that.
I'm excited for people to see it. I got a little sneak peek the past couple evenings.
If I could ask Chris those questions and see.
You could. Okay.
All right, go for it.
Here, muting myself.
Okay.
So, Chris, what was the best thing you learned at ACPE this year?
Best thing that I learned, which was
which golf hole to start on?
Yes, but honestly, it was probably a little emotional because probably one of the things that I learned most was that we don't always know what our colleagues are dealing with personally. There was a moment, of course, during the keynote where we came up and we said that phrase, and one of our colleagues said something that really hit me. Yeah. Yep. I was going to bring that bracelet too, but I didn't. She's actually one that's in our district area, and I really want to go out and try to make sure that we're touching base. And you just never know what people are dealing with, and for her to have the strength to say that in front of that entire room, wow. Just, yeah. I think ACPE has really made that space available to where people are strong enough to just say how they're feeling versus trying to put on a face about how everything's great and I'm just connecting with everybody and making everybody see how awesome I am and how many great things I'm doing. It's not like that with ACPE. This is really an organization that we feel safe enough to just let everybody know how it is that we're feeling. And when we reach out for help, we know that somebody's going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You were going to say something, Rachel?
Oh, I do have something, but I'll hold it for later. I'm going to let Josh continue asking questions.
Well, spoiler, I know the answers to some of these because, so Chris, did you try a dance or karaoke song?
I did.
He's always out there cutting the rug.
I was pulled up on a Earth, Wind, and Fire tune.
Nice.
Yep. And what kills me is I'm a trumpet player, so I was actually thinking about the notes because usually I'm up on the stage playing all the trumpet lines.
Well, I think we have a goal for next year. I think maybe you bring your horn.
Oh gosh.
There's
Look at my
quite a
dad.
few
You guys can play trumpets together.
musicians in the group.
I bet we have an ACPE band.
They could.
That'd be
Oh,
fun.
I'm sure we do.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I don't claim that at all. But
Is there a vendor or solution you were looking for this year?
You know, with my new position, I was just trying to figure out which ones that LaneSD is a part of that I wasn't with Siuslaw and get around and introduce myself as, hey, I'm LaneSD's new technology operations manager. And I just want to get to know you and know what you're doing for them and if there's anything I can do to help. So specifically, gosh, Siuslaw, I think, is one that LaneSD uses that I introduced myself to. And there's probably a bunch of them that are, my head is so full right now with information.
it's
Drinking from the fire hose.
It's a throng when you go through the gold showcase hall. It is like people have been just chomping at the bit to get in there, and it is packed.
I guess I do have to say one. I better give a shout out to Nathan Fichetti at CVE, otherwise he'll kill me. Siuslaw is a customer of CVE. We've been doing a bunch of stuff with him for E-rate. Nathan's a great guy. I've known him for all 5 years that I've been in this position.
Been a couple decades, I think, for me. So he's been around.
And both years, I think, was CVE out on the pavilion this year also?
Yes.
Yes. Last year they were. Yep. I just remember the CVE group last year when we did the hustle being there.
Yes.
They're a great group to have out on the pavilion with us on karaoke and dance nights.
And it was good.
Were you there for the trivia? Did you have a worst or best question that drove you mad?
That was hard, man.
Right?
Trivia was just
final question.
hard.
I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
Well, yeah, nobody got the final question. The first round, I didn't even know what the heck they were asking. We were all just guessing.
Who knew there were so many cryptids?
Yeah.
The Mothman.
So round 2, we got it was the music one, and we did pretty well around the table on the music. But then it was whatever the third round was. I don't even remember. It was hard too, and we went all in on 20 points and ended up in negatives. So, which was fine. It was fun. The pizza was great. The host was great. We were all just having a good time.
Perfect.
Yep. That trivia group.
It gets bigger and bigger.
Long tenure of really great trivia nights.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Do you have a particular ACPE friend that you meet at the conference that you don't currently work with?
Well, I spoke a lot with Jeff Gibbs because we were doing our presentation together. So we kind of just said, "Hey, are we ready for this?" Sure. We just looked at the slide deck before and go to town on it. And I was speaking with a couple of colleagues at Junction City School District. I mean, I was talking with a lot of people, just trying to especially help some small school directors out with some ways that they can possibly push some initiatives through their leadership team that I've been successful at Siuslaw doing.
You know, I don't know if we've done small schools. Well, we've done some small schools roundtables in the past. Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
There is a lot in common for those smaller schools.
Yeah.
I run a session every year. In fact, if I could just keep the one, that was the one that I ran was small schools.
Small schools. That's right.
Many
That's right.
hats, one head.
Yes. Yes.
Was there a vendor or solution you wish was there?
Trying to think if we have anybody.
Sneak some vendor questions in with all the
Yeah.
good feels.
I think it would have been fun getting K-12 Tech Talks crew over to ACPE.
Hey, what
I
are
know
you
it's
doing?
I'm in favor of that. I was one of their earliest consistent fans. And
They're just funny.
yes.
Not saying that you aren't funny.
Wow, man. It just keep digging that hole deeper.
Shout out to Marc, Josh, and Chris for keeping us entertained.
Yes.
Different Josh Kesecker, and Marc, Josh, and Chris. Yes, keeping us entertained. And really some episodes, especially cybersecurity, the past couple of years that have been really key to understanding and learning. And
Wait, their names are Josh, Marc, and Chris?
Yes.
Mhm.
I literally thought you were talking about us.
No. Oh my gosh.
I was like, okay, cool. Thanks, Rachel. What's happening right
I think
now?
our audience may have
That's
detoured as
funny.
well.
Josh.
I did not either. That's funny.
Because all I kept seeing was Treehouse Guy, whatever his name is.
Okay, thanks.
I'm going to clip this and we're going to LinkedIn it with our friends at K-12.
That's
Tech Talk.
hilarious.
Josh,
That's so
Marc,
great.
and Chris. And K-12 Tech Talk, especially that Dr. Scott Elder recap after the Albuquerque cybersecurity incident a few years ago. I still use the clips that I made in my SoundCloud so that they're ready to go for the superintendents. Still use that episode all the time. Lots of esteem for the K-12 Tech Talk group.
Not
Marc,
this,
on the other
Marc,
hand.
not this Marc, Josh, and Chris. Let's just
And
be
not this Marc,
real
Josh, and
about
Chris.
that one. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
That would be a fun collab, though, to get them out to an ACPE. We get to see
It
them
would.
at COSEN and a few other places, but
Yeah, they
Yeah.
don't make it to the Pacific Northwest, so it'd be fun to have them up.
okay.
Maybe.
Yes.
Hey, this is our podcast.
That just so happens to have a Chris,
Other-
Marc, and Josh.
Yeah.
See
Come
you.
on.
Hey, just so you know, I shouted out Plugged In at Jeff and I's session where we were talking about, so you're the new IT director, now what? I said, hey, shameless plug for our podcast, Plugged In, to stay connected and plugged into what's going on.
We should actually
We have a new
do
director of marketing.
We do. And I actually like that idea for an episode.
For
so you're a new
newbies.
tech.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a new tech director. Okay,
Last
Josh,
question.
any last questions?
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
How was your game of golf?
This is a perfect segue.
It was not great. And I think Rachel actually has evidence of it not being very good. That was a terrible putt that she was there taking video of. But she didn't post it because she says she's only posting the good stuff, but that was awful.
My promise to everyone is that I only post things that like where the ball sinks.
Yeah, the ball did not sink.
No shanking.
That was
There were a
like
few of
literally
those.
everybody.
The soccer ball, however, that was fun, but oh my word, that was hard.
You should have seen the first designs that we made for those rings. They were like 8 inches wide because it's what we could fit in the printer without doing it in pieces. That was really, really hard, like really hard. And then we found a pattern for an actual foot golf like ring that you could put out there. But again, that was the last question, right, Josh?
Yeah.
Okay. Great segue into golf. I kind of wanted to run through what we got to see for the Wednesday. I thought we could like kind of chronologically go through this. Is that okay? And I'll just kick it off since we're on the topic of golf. The golf tournament was awesome. We started an hour earlier this year and it was well worth it because everybody was done in time for lunch. And we had a sponsor on every single hole this year, which was terrific. And they really got into it. I think that the line-wise hole was the back-off hole where they just talk smack to you while you're swinging your club.
Yes.
Which was absolutely hilarious.
Now, do they pick these things or do you give
They got to
them
do whatever they
options?
wanted.
So they
Some people had little golf
okay.
gimmicky games. Jeez, we had the foot golf hole, which congrats to Mac for hitting a 15-footer. Like
Oh, yeah.
that was really not easy to do. Like at all, not easy. What was the other? We
had
did
the
the
fling
fling
golf.
golf. Yeah, with the fling golf hole. I even saw somebody grab a fling golf stick to play the whole round as fling golf. So like awesome. But it just was a fun morning. Like the weather was nice. I think
Yes.
everybody had a great time going around golfing.
Yeah.
And then we got to use the resort's 6-seater golf cart, which by the way, doesn't fit on the path very well. You have to really think about your turns.
It was not Marc's favorite.
My arms were sore by the end of that one. But no, tons and tons of fun. Just loved everyone who was golfing.
As a spectator photographer, I think the hole that you haven't mentioned that is probably the one that will live on in infamy was Steve Langford.
One
Yes.
moment, please. I have it handy.
I was just going to go dig it up on Discord.
Mm-hmm. He fell over a few times. We had to pick him up.
Yes.
Well, there was two, right?
And Marc made the shot.
Right.
I'm the only one who made the putt through his mouth. But okay, give me 1 second here. Anyway, we had two of them, and for those folks who didn't make it this year, Steve Langford from Beaverton was our president, and I contacted Cory, who is our conference organizer and executive queen of all things, and said, "Hey, Cory, how much money do we have left in the golf budget? Because I want to buy something." And I was able to buy this. If you're on YouTube, you can see it.
Yes.
It was a 3 foot by 3 foot picture of Steve that we cut out a little thing underneath his mouth.
Chin.
And so we put that one on a green, and then the other one was on the putting green. And it was absolutely hilarious. It was such a funny thing. And I know at least one went back to Beaverton School District with Mac.
That's awesome.
And I think he's sending it places around the district. So that is, like, Steve could not stop talking about it. That was really, really one of the funniest things. So next year's tourney, we're going to keep taking this less seriously and see what kind of fun stuff we can come up with next year. So I didn't see how the rest of the lawn stuff went. I did get a request to get croquet back, like a real
request.
Croquet tournament. People really liked that. So
I played cornhole out on the lawn games a little bit, and I didn't get to the disc golf course this year because I just didn't have the time. We set up the fox hunt while you guys were golfing, and we had some difficulties with that, but it turned out okay. So
what would one of those difficulties be, Josh Kesecker?
I forgot,
like an early one.
I left things back at the office and forgot some components that were kind of critical. So a good segue. We added another fox hunt. So we still had one that you could pick up from far away, and you just find the one, and it was kind of easy. And then the other one was we had these 3 tiny little micro ones on different frequencies to try and like collect all 3, and they had different little hole punches on them to give more of a challenge for some of the folks who wanted a challenge instead of like found it, first to find. And there were some really go-getter experts out there. So, but so I forgot one component from that fox hunt, and I forgot the actual fox for the other fox hunt.
Welcome to being on the board.
If you asked me, if you put a microphone in my face, Josh Kesecker, and you said, who's the least likely person to forget something on their way to ACPE, it would be you. So I was chuckling for like a full 36 hours.
Who's the most likely?
Marc. Every single other board member, I'd be like, oh yeah, including me. The one that I would say, oh no, Josh has it all organized. It's in, fishing tackle boxes and all ready to go. And I saw that in the Discord too.
There will be a list next year. There will be a spreadsheet that will highlight in colors as it gets completed for next year, because that will not happen again.
To be fair, you brought a lot of things with you. So not only are you still leading the fox hunt, which is, I really was hoping that I would have my operator or my tech.
We're going to do a test session next year.
I know we are, but I'm going to have mine before then. I think we have requirement changes coming in June. So ish.
I mean, the questions are all published and their answers.
I know. So I'm going to get there. We had some unexpected things this spring, and I was really hoping to do it this year.
You don't need your license to go looking for the fox.
I know. And but you also did these amazing cribbage boards and brought a number of other things with you as well. So
sell out at the store.
They did on day 2, and all I have left are prototypes now. And as a commission, I guess I'll have. There were a bunch of people didn't know they were available and wanted them. So I think we should make some for next year too. Don't you think?
I agree.
I think so.
Yeah.
They're so good.
That's really cool.
This isn't the final one. The final one has a slot that holds all the things, and it's thicker. And,
yeah.
Those were in the store?
See?
It's the best quote of the night.
That's what everyone said. They're like, what?
My wife and I play cribbage. I would have grabbed one.
Yep, it was
Well,
really good.
Next year, I
Mhm.
guess.
Next
Yep.
year, I'll make another batch. We'll have some fun. We'll have them in
There's quite the
store.
cribbage group in ACPE,
There is.
I
Not
think you guys thought I was crazy when I was like, I think we should have cribbage boards in the store. And I
Good
knew they would
fit.
go. Yeah.
Yep, and
it was-
Steve Langford and a few others are making these really impressive carved wood ones as well. I went to celebrate, if it's okay, that the library became the card room. And I think
Yes.
Josh and I both got to spend a half an hour or whatever there with the group. And this year it ended up being Magic the Gathering in that room. It was peaceful, but also intense, I think is the way I would describe it.
Yeah, because I mean, like when the gold sponsor thing is going on, like that's a lot of input when you're trying to like squeeze between people and get your tickets and in and out and trying to make and sometimes, you just want to like chillax and crush your opponent.
You nailed it. I was like, how do I describe this? It's you walk in and it's just got this like sense of calm and presence, and at the same time, what Josh just said, also like pretty intense battle. It's just very quiet, less quiet than the Gold
Get
Showcase.
to play, which is probably good because there are ratings for decks. I didn't know how it all worked. So I don't have ratings on my decks because I'm not that experienced. These guys were serious.
Yeah,
and
it was
cool
a
about
really
They were loaning each other's decks to each other, like, oh, here, play a good one.
Yeah. It was really great to just spend some time in that space. Really glad that we now have a room that I think is already on the schedule for next year as the card game room again.
It was
Anybody
awesome.
want to guess like what my favorite evening activity was?
Well, we had other
Dancing?
lawn things, Rachel. We had the 5K
Okay, fine,
and the
fine.
walk. I mean, shout out to Kevin, whose job was to count the number of people that left was the same number that came back.
We did lose someone one year. This is why this has to be true at the old place.
That's all we ever talk about is the same number comes back as the same number that left. Just count.
Yes.
We could have some fun with that.
Yeah. But it looked like they had a good time.
They did.
I'd seen them in the golf course the year before, but I didn't see anybody this year. So I don't really know what happened.
Yeah, I caught them on the path a few times and some wicked fast runners. And then people having a lot of fun strolling and walking and laughing and talking.
It was
some folks really enjoyed the cardio jam. Was that one, Steve?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you for Melissa for the store too, and the whole Intermountain group, who are incredibly awesome. But yeah, thank you for the cardio jam, Melissa.
Wednesday morning, and then the Wednesday sponsor sessions, and then into Wednesday evening,
which is always fun.
Yes.
Again, the second those gold doors open, I think people have been waiting for so long that it's just the sensory overload space. Josh is absolutely correct.
But I really like the gold sponsors because that's where the new people are, right? And they bring things and you can like get your hands on stuff and you don't have another opportunity. You gotta get them all, see all the new things, try out the cases and the gadgets and the widgets, and get all those tickets and stuff in that one session. So it's intense.
Since being on the board, I find that I don't have that kind of time like anymore for the gold thing. It's so hard. I really envy everybody else. I'm like,
I'm with you.
They were there? Really? I didn't see them. Oh yeah, you walked right past them 5 times. Oh.
Some of my favorite tech finds, and I am grateful for all of our sponsors, but some of my best tech finds have been in the Gold Showcase. It is a unique group of companies that come together, and the new ones are always like, whoa, at the end of it. And it's unlike the daytime kind of more empty vendor halls at some other conferences. And and just really great, like really interesting vendors that are trying to find their spot, show up at that night.
And we have quite a few vendors who really like the gold sponsorship level. I mean, they make a note of getting it every single year. So thank you.
I was surprised because I've started, going to some other events elsewhere and ACPE's ruined them all for me. Thanks for that. And like the gold sponsors only get that one night, but it's just like rush hour the whole time.
Yeah. I mean, you hear it all the time. It's not just our community that says, I'm going to brag about us now. The vendors say it all the time. They're like, oh my gosh, this is our favorite conference of the year, because they get to enjoy it just like we do. And they feel like they're part of the community too. It's awesome. So Wednesday night, we went into the Platinum Diamond then, which was epic. I mean, I'm
You
going to
got to
ask
see
the three of
the
you what
space
your
cows.
favorite thing was in the diamond rooms. I know what mine was. Pretty easy. Rachel knows. Okay, we have pregnant pause here for those listening.
Well, I ran around a lot, so I didn't actually get to spend much time in every platinum
It
room.
was Patrick the hugging dog.
Oh,
PE
HPE had a service
brought a dog.
that was a hugging dog, and he was the sweetest, fluffiest thing in the world. Wait, my dog didn't hear that, right? I hope not.
And then they also brought stuffed versions of Patrick, the fluffiest, cuddliest dog
And that
in the
is
world.
now my dog's baby.
And our
She runs around with it.
Discord, Dogs of ACPE channel is filling up with photos of ACPE dogs with Patrick.
And Patrick, they were also giving away a children's book of Patrick that Patrick would sign with a paw print on the back of the book. I had one, and I got one of the very last copies. And then I think one of the reps from OETC was very sad that she didn't get a book. And I don't have kids. And I said, you have children, right? And she was like, yeah. I was like, please have my book to take to your kids.
Yep,
But
Patrick was a
hopefully we
hit.
run into Patrick again. No, all of our diamond sponsors were epic. Our platinum sponsors were epic. Our gold sponsors were epic. But just a huge shout out to our diamond sponsors who put a lot of effort into the rooms and making them what they were. You know, we had a couple of new diamond sponsors this year, and I think that's a big adjustment. The expectation of what is supposed to go on in that room is high, and some of them are long time sponsors. Big shout out to ACT for the Maze Pub was awesome. It was so cool.
They had merch and everything. It was
I love that we pulled off a maze pub for the Ted Lasso year.
I mean, I thought OETC's locker room thing was awesome too.
Yep.
Like, it was terrific and just a really neat space. Again, Powergistics was our sponsor tonight. They went a completely different route with aliens, and then we fogged out the room, and it was
And it was
cool.
a hit.
It was. It really was.
Yes.
There were some I
So-
wanted to visit, and it was so packed and people like spilling out the door and everything. I'm just like, well, I'll try again later.
Yep. No, I mean, we had a miniature golf tournament. I think that was Pacific Office Automation.
yes. It's the AI photos where it took a picture of you and you could put yourself in some kind of scene. So
Yeah.
I was wearing an Oregon jersey, and I just put my hands up like I was catching a touchdown. I said catching a touchdown at Autzen Stadium, and it did.
It was super awesome. I thought the food was good this year.
Always good.
Snacks are always important,
Mm-hmm.
like hugely important. And then I did not get to see any of the karaoke. So please take it away, Rachel, Chris, and Josh. I usually sing.
I
Which is
learned
a
a
huge
new
bummer.
strategy, actually. If you get there early, when not everyone else is gathered, you have less of a crowd. You have your free pick of the songs and things. So that was kind of fun. Yeah.
I came around the corner and I'm like, who's singing? Who sounds like Johnny Cash? And I got closer to the stage. Oh my gosh, that's Josh. I think
I
it was
heard
actually,
that too.
yeah, it was, I think it
Johnny
was
It was Neil Diamond.
Neil Diamond.
Sweet
That's right.
Caroline, because I figured
Yes.
everyone would join in on the da da da, right?
Caroline.
Yes,
So.
it was great. Chris, did you get up in karaoke?
I
Earth,
did
Wind,
not
and
do karaoke, but next time I'll have to.
So
That's the
karaoke
next
from
thing.
hell. Like if you are going to do karaoke, I have a shout out for karaoke. Scotty Mack, Scott McDonald, Ben Lapine, very dedicated every episode plugged in listener. Scotty Mack and I did karaoke together.
And what did you sing?
We sang Kodachrome by Paul Simon and we killed it.
I don't know that song. Can you sing it for us, Rachel?
No pressure.
When I think back on all the crap I learned in high school.
I still
That's
don't know that song. Keep going.
Okay. I'm so embarrassed for you, Mark Elliott. Seriously, one of the best songs ever. So Scott's team got, I think, 7 phones out taking video. So we'll have to get some footage. Good job, Scott McDonald. And Karaoke from Hell. If you're going to karaoke, this is the way to karaoke.
Yeah.
Thank you, Karaoke from Hell.
It's
100%.
great. They jump in. So you're not alone. You have
Yeah.
like help.
Well, like, if you've karaokeed a few times or a million times, it's karaoke, but when you karaoke with a band and the power that comes out, like just the pure volume, it's different. It's just different. And it's so fun. It is really amazing.
And one more shout out, Luis and Cynthia from Hillsboro doing I Want You to Want Me. It was so good. And the bass player, like, it's so much good on karaoke night. And then DJ Joe picks up for the second half of that. And then we migrate and meander over to the tree houses where Marc killed it as well.
It was a lot. I was exhausted.
Like 11 o'clock at night by the time we transition to tree houses, though.
Yes.
I started way too early because I tested the music, and one of the vendors under the tents, I turned it off, said, no, keep playing. So I just kept going. And for a good hour and a half, I played EDM Yacht Rock, which was so fun. It was great. The first night was all remixes, and second night was just all house music, kind of techno-y stuff. But it was a new setup this year.
Way better.
We definitely wanted to bring a little more light into the
well-lit
treehouse
path. It was great.
Yeah, so we were around the brand new fire pit. We had light poles down there. I know some vendors took people and opened up their tree houses where people were hanging out there. I had the tree house that was right by the tennis courts, and I stepped away from the decks for 1 second and looked down, and I think there had to have been 12 people sitting around my fire pit. I didn't even know they turned it on. So that was cool.
It was very cold on Wednesday night, so we actually both nights that fire pit was a really great spot to get warm.
Who knows what the hit of Wednesday night was at the tree houses? Rachel does. When the sprinklers went off. And started to soak everybody.
Yeah. Can I add to this part?
Yes, please.
So I had walked away for a little bit, was helping somebody get back up towards the lodge. So on my way back, I'm like, wow, in the 10 minutes that I've been gone, it cleared out. So I get closer and I realize everything is soaking wet. So then I start walking to figure out what's going on. There's a salad bowl, like a decent sized bowl, turned upside down on top of a sprinkler head, not hurting the sprinkler head. It's pretty tall. And, but it has like handles on the side of it that are carved out. So they've got it upside down over this sprinkler head. So I'm imagining, I don't know the story at that point, but I have an idea of what happened here.
Yeah.
And so the kicker was not only was the salad bowl or the ice bucket or whatever it would be upside down on top of this sprinkler head, they had put the edge of the Adirondack chair up on top of the salad bowl, because I'm imagining that the salad bowl became a salad spinner when they thought that they would put it on the sprinkler. I'm surprised that Marc could not hear me laughing through his headphones 50 feet away on the deck. It was so entertaining. To reverse engineer that the sprinklers must have come on at midnight. That would have been around midnight.
I mean, it was everything I could have imagined. You know, DJing off the treehouse deck where you could overlook everything was awesome. It was just so cool. It was such a better setup than we've had in the years past. And, you know, we've been tweaking it little bit by little bit. And I think that was good. And then the second night, the new rep from Parent Square, the second I started the music, she put on the second set of headphones. And by the end of 2.5 hours, she'd never touched decks before. And her name was
Eliza.
She was doing it by herself, which was very cool. I love to play on the decks. I actually love more to teach people how to do it. It is one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
So.
And it was well done. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
I did love the Yacht Rock night a lot because I just kept chuckling at the playlist you had woven together.
Nice.
It was
Perfect
fun.
way to honor President Steve Langford.
Yep.
Yacht Rock prototype extraordinaire. Sherry Reinhardt got him a white denim jacket 2 years ago for Rocket. Yep. He's just yacht rock walking.
Yep.
Hope you enjoyed it, Steve.
It just was so much fun. Yeah. I don't think I've ever been more busy. It was super fun. And big thanks to our treehouse sponsors, because you were up very late and you were hosting folks until very late. I know the second night I shut things down around 1:30, and Rachel was like, I looked up and your treehouse was dark. I was like, because I went to bed. I was tired. And I think you guys said there was at least 100 people left, still going.
Yeah.
Like,
it was actually, it was about 2
o'clock or 200?
2 o'clock.
Oh,
wow.
It was a full night and lots of fun. And thank you, Marc.
It was a blast.
It's a lot of stress and a lot of pressure, and it was brilliant.
I loved it. Yeah. So hopefully we get Julia back next year. I want to do one night.
So too.
And I have a plan for that night. I haven't shared it yet.
Okay.
But I'll do one and Julia can do one. I think
Because next year is your conference.
next year
Mr.
is my
President.
conference. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm going to be busy.
Yeah. Okay. And so then we wake up, like even those of us who like pick up cans and things like that, and then get to bed, and then we're back in the morning for breakfast and sessions. Does anybody have a session that they want to highlight?
Yeah, I would probably say there were a couple of sessions. MESD did their AI policy session about kind of how they grew into the policy, and they had a great slide deck that I'm taking back to Lane ESD that just kind of gives us some different ideas about how to get some kind of policy written for AI, because that's definitely a big thing that everybody's trying to figure out now. And then also Libby and Marc did a really good job with the SDPC data destruction, kind of telling everybody how to handle the Exhibit Ds correctly. And now, since I'm the Oregon State Alliance lead for SDPC, I was sitting in just kind of supporting them.
Yes.
And Nate
And
had
thank
a
you for
great,
taking that on, Chris, that leadership on.
Nate had a great session on open source intel and how to safely navigate. He has there's a project that will crawl the dark web for you and watch for things like some certain services do, but you can like do your own recon. And so he kind of walked through what that looks like. So that was good.
Was that the Robin
Yes.
thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will mention that we had an awesome keynote. Matthew Mergen was terrific. I think Steve did a great job picking an inspirational person who had quite a story, who was on our pre-conference episode.
Yeah. Appreciated the message and also the use of repetition and a little bit of humor. And the thing that I have focused on, and I've talked about it with a few people post-conference, is Matt nailed this idea of when someone tries to tell us that I matter, Rachel, I matter, you matter, someone's telling me this. My immediate thing is, oh, thanks, and let me tell you about you. And so my challenge the past couple of weeks has really been sitting with, instead of just reflexively pointing it back, pausing and sitting with it. I think that is the harder part, for me at least, than sharing my appreciation and how much people matter. And then that we all matter, this love for ACPE that Marc always says it so beautifully, digging in on our own selves and sitting with that, actually recognizing ourselves, what other people are trying to tell us. It was very powerful.
You know, I reflected on that too a little bit. I love to recognize people for what I really admire in them. And just like you, Rachel, I don't like getting it myself. It's difficult to take. And what I've been reflecting on is how much I enjoyed giving it and how much that person probably also enjoys the same thing that I enjoy. And it puts a little bit of a different perspective on taking a compliment, because the last thing they want is for you to deflect it, you know? And it still is difficult, but that's just been something I've been thinking about quite a bit. And Matthew really brought that to light. It was an excellent keynote.
Agree.
Okay. So then we moved into Friday. We had a few more sessions on Friday. How was breakfast, by the way? I never made it.
It was good.
I was.
Yeah, there was bacon.
The food was always good.
It's always good.
They do a great job.
That's the trade-off is Rachel and I stay up late, and I think you did even say, or maybe it was somebody else was like, I'm not making it to breakfast.
I skipped lunch.
I made it to breakfast the first morning. I wasn't there in time for bacon. So the next, even though it was 3:00, climbing in bed, I was there for bacon.
I don't know. Was there anything stand out, Josh, Chris, Rachel, for you guys on Friday?
Sessions. My team ran some sessions. I was very proud of them. They were terminating wires and they had a little competition. It was skills based and a lot of fun, but more importantly, it was all them. That was very fulfilling for me to watch.
Jeff and I had a lot of fun with so you're the IT director, now what?
That's awesome.
It was really good. It was well tended. We had the CEO of Coast in there. He actually came up to me and was like, hey, just so you know, we have an early CTO program. Like, I got you. I went through it. I graduated from it. And I had a whole slide basically dedicated to everything Coast. And he's like, at the end, thanks for all the shout outs. Didn't realize we had a Coastin fan over here that's just going to load up everybody about Coastin.
Thank you, Keith, for coming and giving a message.
Yeah.
Scholarships is what we put the new board members on, because it's a great way to get your feet wet with the committees. Plus, it's one of the most fulfilling things you can actually do. We give a significant amount of money, I would say, out for high school seniors who are going on to some sort of post-high school education. I've been on that committee before, and the stuff that these kids do is unbelievable.
Yes. And you'll be able to see them all on the ACPE website.
I'm thinking back to when I was on the committee, how many times we had students from rural districts that said, I wanted to learn more about programming. I wanted to learn more about cybersecurity. I wanted to learn more about robotics, and nobody offered it. So I did it. I made it happen in my district. And it just was such a dedication. Aside from how brilliant these kids are, like, I didn't feel smart. They're amazing. Just such an awesome thing. So it was so great to honor a bunch of high school students. And I mean, just a huge shout out to all of our attendees who help make it it's a fun conference because everybody makes it a fun conference. Can I give one quick shout out real quick? I know I've mentioned her, but our typical graphic designer resigned their position this year. So thank you to my assistant, Brandy Sorum in the Olympia School District, who did all of our graphic design work. You can see the logo here. Rachel's got it on as well. She did a fantastic job getting the scarves. If you didn't see the scarves, that was
How could you not see the scarves?
The scarves were terrific.
Mm-hmm.
She designed the scarves for us. She did the logos for us. It was just a great job. So thank you, Brandy.
Yeah, thank you, Brandy. Yep. So I thought I would weave us out. Earlier in the episode, Mark, you were like, there was this thing.
One more thing.
Okay.
We've mentioned her name 1,000 times.
Oh, I'm going to go out on that.
Oh, okay, never mind. Go ahead.
So earlier in the episode, you said, you were going to say something, Rachel. And I said, no, I'll hold on to it. And I've been holding on to it this entire episode, unless Josh has something to add.
We didn't mention mentoring. Emily and Jeff started this little mentoring program of matching folks up, and it's been going on throughout the year. They had a little meetup after lunch on Wednesday.
I had both a mentor and I menteed someone, so it was
That's
a lot
awesome.
of fun. We played Pictionary between the two groups of people that were there. Emily made cookies for everybody, and Josh made these really cool. I'll let you explain them.
It's a mentor chip because it's a homage to the old poker chips that we used, and you can turn it into a mini badge and light it up if you want, or it's just, it's got their logo on it and everything. And then there was lapel pins too.
And, women in tech had this amazing huddle.
Always.
In the Moose Room. So much great stuff that it is hard to capture it all in an episode. A number of years ago, when I was in year 13, 14, 15 of my career, a few of us started looking around at each other who had been in Oregon IT managers together or ACPE together. And even though ACPE is only once a year, we have a very active email list. And then we added Discord in 2020. 13 years is the people that you started kindergarten with and graduated high school with. And even though we don't hang out every day together physically, a lot of these relationships, to me at least, feel as close as those people that I graduated high school with after going most of our school career together. And for Mark, you said 25 years. This is what I clued in on early, right? 25 years. That's lifetimes of friendship. That because ACPE, when we're together, is a unique conference experience where there is a lot of intentional making space for people to be able to connect. I think it's okay to have been together and to feel that, what's so unique about it? What's so special about it? And it is these long-term relationships. And in our current generation, the person who is really helping us facilitate growing into this lodge, growing into this space, and making sure that all of Mark's wild ideas get taken care of is Cory Horton.
She's so sick of me.
And Cory's become one of us. So I know we sound cheesy, right?
Major thank you to Cory. Thank you to OETC for the work that you provided us for this conference. So, like I said at the Friday business meeting, I don't know why anybody allowed me to be president. That's the craziest thing that anybody's ever thought of.
We are excited to see what you're about to bring.
I'm excited. I want this to be the culmination of 26 years of ACPE for me, I think will be my goal. I'm honored to be the president.
Can't wait to hear more about it. If there's going to be a journalistic news source that you tease out hints about next year, I hope that it is right here on the Plugged In podcast.
I think we've already started.
And I'm going to take us out on one of the things that you're welcome. I did not belabor, but my goal for Mark's 26th year and year of president is that the electric slide is even bigger, and whatever dance Marc decides that we should learn and do as a community, Marc is out there on the dance floor with us. And with that, everybody,
Oh my God.
bye.
Bye.